Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, should come as a surprise to just about no one that I have my issues with Enlisted. I've made several videos critiquing the game, and I kind of constantly talk about my problems with Enlisted and with Darkflow over on my stream, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro. However, I think that this kind of critiquing and these complaints have painted this image that I hate the game. Which is not the case at all. In fact, the opposite is true. I really do love Enlisted. And so in defense of that and in fairness to the game, I'm going to be doing the video and I'm going to be talking today about my 5 favorite things about Enlisted. So let's jump into it. So first off, right off the bat, gunplay. I think that Enlisted has great gunplay. I think that it feels great to shoot people in the face. I think it's great to mow down AI. Just shooting your weapons in this game feels really good. It's, you know, arcadey. It isn't exactly realistic, and that's honestly part of the game. And I think that's such a great thing about it. And it really plays to the strengths of the game, that kind of arcade feeling. Enlisted is a game that looks very realistic and looks like it should be a little bit more tactile, but it plays very arcadey, which is something that is really good about the game. And really is a charming kind of thing about the game. So the gunplay of Enlisted, I really do love. It feels great to shoot people. Hip firing is amazing. You know, hitting people with bolt actions at range, sniping people out, mowing people down with, you know, tanks and planes. All these things. It feels really good, right? The movement, while it takes time to get used to, ends up feeling really good. So overall, I think these are absolutely amazing things about the game, and that core experience, right, of a first-person shooter, the shooting part of the first-person shooter, Enlisted does very, very well. Now, next up is the thing that I think is the absolute best part about Enlisted, and it is the AI. And I'm not talking about the necessary, you know, the AI itself and its programming and how they move and shoot people. Like, that always needs work, and it will always need to be worked on. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the squad system, the fact that you have AI squad members that you can command, bring around you, tell what to do, and ultimately take over when you die. It is an amazing system that Darkflow has made. Truly amazing. There is nothing out there right now that is anywhere near as good and as interesting for a first-person shooter. And I've played just about all those first-person shooters out there, all the big ones, right? It is truly something else and truly unique, and it's one of the things that I think draws a lot of people to Enlisted. You know, the high engagement, this perfect blend of PvE and PvP elements to where you kind of get everybody, right? Someone who might not be the best player ever, someone who's 45 years old and just wants to play a World War II shooter game, but like Hell Let Loose is too hard. They can't see people. Like Enlisted, they go and they can shoot bots, and yeah, maybe they get that one bunny hopping guy who's running around mowing down their squad, but like they get to kill all the AI a lot of the time, and that's really fun, and that's a great thing, right? Or maybe younger people who aren't as experienced with games, or just people who aren't experienced with games in general, right? You get this perfect blend of people who get the PvP elements and can have a good time shooting and competing with other players in these games, but you also get this PvE element to the game. That is a lot of fun. It's great to mow down a bunch of enemy AI. It's so fun. It's very satisfying, just like I mentioned with the gunplay before. And it really keeps your engagement high too, because normally in something like Call of Duty or Hell Let Loose or Battlefield, if you die, you have to look at a respawn screen, right? For like 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds, if not longer, before you get back into the action. Enlisted, it's not like that. If you die, if you make a mistake and you die, you just jump on your next soldier and you're back in the action immediately. It's not until your whole squad's wiped out that you have to respawn. So all of those things together, the squad system, the AI, it really, really makes Enlisted an amazing experience and a really unique and fantastic experience overall. Next up is the combined arms. I do really love how Enlisted does a great job at kind of having combined arms in the game. You have tanks, planes, infantry, all working together kind of to win a match and to coordinate with one another. And sometimes this is out of whack, sometimes the balance is out of whack, but that's fine. Like, you still get all of these together, and I think that these vehicles all feel as powerful as they should a lot of the time. And yes, other games do this. Battlefield has planes, Battlefield has helicopters, and Battlefield has tanks. You know, Halo has kind of similar ideas. But I don't know, for some reason in Enlisted, I just feel like it works a lot better. It feels a lot better. Maybe it's because of the limiting factor of how many you can bring to the battlefield, or maybe it has to do with how they're just implemented into the game. I'm not 100%. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, I think that they do work in tandem really well together, and maybe they just work as well as Battlefield. I don't know. Maybe you guys have some thoughts, and you can leave some comments down below on why Enlisted might do this a little bit better than Battlefield. Maybe it's because of how, come to think of it, maybe it's because of how like vehicles in Enlisted have the realistic damage models and stuff, which I think plays really well, right? Like in Battlefield, your vehicles just have like health bars, right? So you just kind of like shoot a rocket at a tank, and you don't kill anybody inside. It just kind of does some damage and bounces off the side or whatever. While in Enlisted, like hitting an enemy tank or knocking out the tracks can be a real advantage to your team, because now that guy's got to like, you know, refresh his tank. He's got to get out and repair it, not refresh, repair. And I think that plays really well. I think that overall, just the combined arms of the game, and not to mention that, but also, you know, the different machine gun squads, the assault squads, every squad kind of having its own role in the game. All of that just ends up being really interesting as compared to other first-person shooters on the market. Now, number 4 on our list is the historical part of the game. I do love the history. Enlisted has definitely made me, you know, look into history a lot more. I've gotten a lot of friends who are definitely history buffs. Some of them have, you know, actual degrees in World War II history. You know, Enlisted has a PhD in history, and has a lot of experience with it. So, you know, it has really made me learn a lot more, which is great. And then I just love the historical side of things, right? Like, it is fun to play Halo, and it's fun to be a, you know, big sci-fi soldier. But at the end of the day, it also is pretty interesting to be these boots on the ground type soldiers from World War II and have all these historical battlefields that are, you know, really important places from the history of the world, you know, and from World War II. And I really do love that. And yes, I know that the game is not 100% historically accurate. There are times in the game where some liberties are taken, to say the least, right? There were not jumbo Shermans in Normandy. But at the end of the day, I think that, you know, for the most part, Enlisted does a good job of blending historical accuracy with gameplay. So I really do love that about the game. I think it's a great thing. And I think, again, that's what draws a lot of people to this game, is an arcade game that really does consider the historical elements of the time. And finally, I think the economy of Enlisted is absolutely fantastic. I think the way that you unlock silver orders, bronze orders, all these things, the way you spend them is amazing, especially when you compare it to how it used to be a year ago. So, you know, hats off to Darkflow, hats off to Gaijin for really doing that. I think it's a fair system. I think it is enough of a grind to really keep players in the game and working towards a goal, but I don't think it's enough of a grind to be really painful, right? I have a free-to-play account, and I've done a free-to-play guide series, and I have enough silver orders to get just about anything I really want. And it does feel like a little bit of a grind, but it's not so much so that it feels, you know, unfair or too much. I think it just feels exactly how it should be. It feels good, and you know, really well done in that regard, Darkflow. And that's it, guys. Those are my top 5 things. Not in any order, of course, but those are definitely 5 things that I truly do love about Enlisted. If this ever, for any reason, reaches a developer, you know, I want it to be clear that I do love Enlisted. If I didn't care about Enlisted, I wouldn't make videos for it. I wouldn't complain and give feedback and critique the game. I would just not play it. Right? All of these complaints and these feedback and these issues that I bring up constantly are truly because they are issues that I believe are detrimental to the game, and I would like Enlisted to be as good as it possibly can. So let me know down in the comments below, guys, your guys' thoughts. What are your favorite things about Enlisted? Let me know. Remember, as always, to like and subscribe. Follow me, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.